welcome to the Bumblebee Farmhouse. My name is Angie, and if you guys are new here, I want to welcome you guys. If you guys are returning, I want to welcome you back. I'm so glad that you are here hanging out with me today. Today I have a fun video as I will be decorating a festive Christmas kitchen, so I'm really excited about it. This year's Christmas kitchen, I am thinking of lots and lots of greenery. I plan on having decor out, but maybe not as maximalist as other years. I wanted to have a really nice traditional feel, which is the look that I'm going for. I'm really excited about it. As you can see, I do have bins in the background, and I'm just kind of going through everything. I don't think I'm going to use every single piece of decor this year. Sometimes less can be a little bit more. So I'm really going to try to be working with what I have already existing in my kitchen and just try to enhance it with some Christmas decor, greenery, and some lights. So I'm really excited that you guys are hanging out with me today. Grab a cup of something warm and cozy to drink. Let's hang out while I decorate the kitchen for this Christmas here at the Bumblebee Farmhouse, where you are always welcome. Now let's get to decorating. This is only a small fraction of my Christmas decorations that I have for the kitchen, and I decided to do a little bit less this year, but still I wanted it to pack a big punch. So we are going to start off with a lovely scent, and here I have the Marshmallow Fireside from Bath & Body Works. This is one of my all-time favorite candles. It just smells like roasted marshmallows. It just smells so amazing. So we want to set off the tone correctly in my kitchen with a lovely scent. So that's how we're going to start. The tone that I'm setting for my kitchen this year is maybe a little bit more mature, maybe a little bit more old world, rustic, and old-fashioned. And that's the look that I'm going for this year. I want lots and lots of greenery, lots of lights. I just love like the rustic metallics, and as you'll see, there's a lot of copper in my kitchen, and that's, I think, not just the look that I'm going for just for Christmas, but all year round. I would love it if you guys would leave a comment and introduce yourselves, say hello, where you're from. I would love to get to know you all. I am just adding elements that make my heart and soul happy, that make me feel warm and cozy for whatever I'm feeling this Christmas. This is my vibe and my mood, and I am here for it. I am loving it. It's all about how your home makes you feel, and it is your safe place. So make sure to fix it up the way that makes your heart feel happy. And since I'm talking about an old world, old-fashioned Christmas, this is what I think that it's all about. I dream of snowflakes softly falling, of candles flickering, gently calling, a hearth aglow with embered light, as carols echo through the night. The tree adorned with silver charms, a star atop with open arms, the scent of pine and spicy cheer, old-fashioned joys that reappear. The sound of laughter, warm and bright. Around the table, hearts take flight. Grandmother's hands with gentle grace fold cookies on the hearth's embrace. In cozy rooms, the fireside hums, the taste of cider, winter's drums, tinsel and ribbons, garlands and twine. A simpler time of love divine. I dream of sleds on snowy lanes, of cozy quilts and frosty panes, of memories wrapped in velvet days and moments frozen in their ways. So let me dream of Christmas past, where warmth and joy were built to last, and old-fashioned dreams forever sweet, a world where love and time still meet. I have to ask everybody while we're getting into this video, what is your style of decorating for your home or your kitchen for this year? Mine seems to kind of fluctuate every year. I've done the gingerbread theme, I've done lots of vintage, and this year I wanted to have an old world kind of Christmas, old-fashioned Christmas feel. Imagine for a moment stepping back through the pages of history to a time when Christmas was simpler, slower, and filled with a kind of quiet magic that feels almost lost today. Picture it in the heart of winter, perhaps in a small village, nestled in the rolling hills of an old country where snow blankets the earth like a soft, frozen memory. The air is crisp and sharp, the kind of cold that stings your cheeks but feels invigorating in a way that only winter can. The scent of wood smoke drifts through the chimneys, mingling with faint, sweet aromas of roasted chestnuts. As you walk down cobblestone streets, lanterns cast flickering pools of light, their flames trembling against the wind. You hear the soft crunch of your boots on the snow, the only sound except for the distant ring of bells from the steeple of the village church. In homes, the Christmas tree isn't yet the glittering spectacle of today. Instead, it's simple fir, brought in from the woods by strong hands, its branches still smelling of the forest. It's modest, but lovingly adorned with homemade decorations, string popcorn dried, orange slices, little wooden toys, and perhaps a few hand-carved ornaments passed down through generations. A star, not a manufactured one, but one made from bits of straw or paper, rests atop, a symbol of light in the darkness. The hearth is the heart of the home. A roaring fire crackles in the fireplace, its warmth spreading through the room, curling around the family gathered close. The smell of roasting meats and baking bread fills the air, mingling with the spices of cinnamon and clove, as mulled wine or cider simmers in a pot, sending its sweet steam to join the cozy warmth. The evening's meal is a simple feast, a roast bird, perhaps a goose or a ham, served with root vegetables, boiled potatoes, and hearty bread, all made from scratch. There's a sense of satisfaction in knowing that every dish on the table has been prepared by hand, the fruits of labor and love. And as the meal draws to a close, the family might gather around the piano, if they're lucky enough to have one, or sit together singing carols by the fire, their voices rising in harmony, filling the room with joy of the season. Children might play with handmade toys, wooden soldiers or rag dolls, their faces bright with the simple wonder of receiving something crafted just for them. No flashing lights or battery-operated gadgets, just the timeless joys of toys that spark imagination and hours of play. The Christmas Eve service at the village church is quite an affair. Candles flickering in the dark and the scent of pine from the greenery draped along the pews. The congregation sings hymns, their voices soft and reverent, carrying through the cool stone walls. The pastor's words are rich with tradition, speaking of peace on earth and goodwill among men. And for a moment, it seems the world itself pauses. The weight of time and the promise of Christmas pass hanging in the air like a sacred gift. The night ends with families gathered around the warmth of their homes, the stars visible through frosted windows, and a feeling of peace that comes from knowing. In that moment, all is well. The world is not yet fast, not yet full of distractions and complexities that will come. Christmas feels both eternal and fleeting, a moment to be savored, tucked into memory like the pages of an old book that you return to year after year. In this, there is no rush, no shopping malls, no elaborate preparations, no endless tasks. Just the steady rhythm of simple traditions and the time spent together, the quiet joy of giving and receiving in ways that don't need to be loud or extravagant. It's a Christmas where love is woven through every detail, where the season isn't defined by what is bought or wrapped, but by what is shared and remembered. As you stand in the doorway, gazing out the softly falling snow, you realize this is the Christmas you've longed for, the one that lives in the echoes of time, a Christmas of peace, of kindness, and home. Beneath the stars so pure and bright, in Bethlehem soft, quiet night, a humble stable, cold and still, became a place of heaven's will. The world had waited, hearts aglow, for love to come, for peace to grow. And in that manger, small and bare, a child was born beyond compare. His tiny hands, so soft and sweet, were meant to heal, to guide, to greet the world's great hope, the Savior's grace, shining through his holy face. The angels sang, the heavens rang with joy and peace. Their voices sang, "Glory to God, the highest King, and on earth his peace we bring." The shepherds came, the wise men too. Their hearts were full, their spirits true. They knelt before the child so mild, and worshipped him, the holy child. In swaddling clothes, so meek, so small, the Savior came to love us all, a gift of grace, a light so bright, born to guide us through the night. O blessed night, so full of cheer, the gift of love is drawing near. For in that manger, soft and sweet, the world found hope, the hearts found peace. Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, you will know that in about the last year and a half, I have been adding so much copper to our kitchen. I have been loving it. So I was actually really lucky to find these copper measuring cups. They're copper plated, stainless steel copper plated from Costco. It was such a lovely surprise finding them because they were made of really, really good quality. So I thought I would add these above my stovetop to my copper collection. They're just so pretty, and I just love the sparkle and the depth that it gives the kitchen. There's a certain coziness to the Christmas kitchen that nothing else quite compares to. Maybe it's the way the kitchen seems to wrap you up in warmth as soon as you step inside. The chill of winter will be left at the door, and the oven hums softly, its warmth spreading through the room, filling the air with the promise of something delicious. The glow of the Christmas tree spills in front of the living room, casting gentle shadows on the wall, and the sound of the crackling firewood in the hearth seem to whisper a quiet, contented melody that perfectly matches the mood. The floor beneath my feet is a bit cool, but there is a soft rug by the sink where I can rest my toes, feeling the plush fibers against the soles of my feet. The countertops are dusted with flour from a few hours spent baking, cookies, pies, and perhaps a loaf of bread still warm from the oven. I've scattered a few cinnamon sticks and some orange slices and sprigs of evergreen along the edges, and the air smells like every Christmas I've ever known, spicy, sweet, and fragrant with pine. As I move around, there's a quiet rhythm to everything. The sound of the tea kettle whistling softly, the gentle hum of the refrigerator, the soft scrape of a wooden spoon against a pot. The kitchen feels full in a way that's not loud, but steady. I can hear my breath as I stir the stew in the stove, and as though time itself slows down here in this room, it's not rushed. It's not frantic. It's peaceful rhythm that invites me to settle in, let the busy world fall away for just a little while. The windows are fogged with warmth inside, a soft condensation tracing down the glass. The snow falls gently outside. It's the kind of snow that doesn't make sound, just drifts down in large quiet flakes, blanketing everything in white. I watch it for a moment, the world outside transforming into something soft and beautiful. But before turning back to the warmth of the kitchen, the lights on the tree twinkling in the corner, the reflection dancing on the window pane, everything feels close, as if the world outside has paused for just a moment, leaving only the peaceful hum of this cozy space. On the stove, there's a pot of mulled wine simmering, its rich scent mixing with the sharp tang of citrus and the earthy depth of cinnamon. A few cloves bob gently in the pot. I lift the lid for just a moment, inhaling deeply. There's something about this time of year, about the warmth that fills a room, about how everything seems to slow down just enough to allow a deep breath of contentment. The kitchen, with its soft lighting, it feels familiar. The smells, its quiet hum, feels like the heart of Christmas, where the magic isn't just in the grand gestures, but in the simplicity of shared moments. I glance over at the table, already set with care, and the dishes gleaming softly under the dim glow of the lights. The plates are simple, yet they feel special in their own way, the kind of china that's been passed down through generations. A few sprigs of holly are tucked into napkins, and there's a small candle lit at the center, flickering softly in the stillness of the room. Everything about it, the old wooden table, the handmade linens, the simple elegance, and it feels just right for a moment for the feeling that this Christmas is all about savoring what truly matters. The sound of a door creaking open, soft footsteps, and the warmth of another voice calling me to come sit. I take a moment to pause, standing in the center of the kitchen. It's just me, the fire, the warmth of the stove, and the quiet joy of knowing that soon this kitchen will be filled with laughter, with stories, with comfort of shared time together. And in this cozy kitchen, the space filled with sounds of home, the smells of Christmas, and the gentle glow of the season, that I feel the full weight of the holiday, not as a flurry of things to do or buy, but as a gift of peace and togetherness. In this kitchen, time feels slow and soft, and there's no place I'd rather be. This is one of my favorite additions that I'm adding to our kitchen this year. I wanted to add lots of greenery and just cozy up the space with that. So on the perimeter of all my cabinets on the kitchen, so the outer cabinets, I want to add wreaths on the double doors. And I got these, they look like Norfolk pine. I picked these up at Hobby Lobby. They were normally $10, so I think I picked them up for about $5 a piece. They are just so pretty, so realistic, and I think they just really cozied up the space and made it festive. I really love how these turned out. You can use any ribbon. I just had some ribbon with like a red ticking stripe left over from last year when I made a bow, and I actually prefer this pattern, but plaids would be really beautiful. Anything that your heart loves would be really, really beautiful. And so I wanted to really cozy up the space and just give it a really kind of forest green, wintry look. And I don't know if you can notice in this video, but it started to get really dark. Now the time has changed as it has dropped by an hour a couple of weeks ago. And so I started this video in the afternoon and filming. And by the time I finished, it was really, really dark out. So if the lighting changed, I apologize. But honestly, I feel like it just gives it a cozier vibe. One thing that you guys will learn about me here on this channel is that I am an extremely sentimental person. If you guys watch any of my past videos or even future videos, you will see that I love antiques, I love to go thrifting, and I love to go antiquing. I love old items that do tell a story. I mean, I love new items too, don't get me wrong, but there's something so wonderful about like the older items. And our home is 53 years old, I believe now. And I always think about what our home must have been like in Christmases past, you know, like I think about like 1971 and what Christmas must have been like for this family that lived here. What traditions did they have? What memories did they have? How old was their decor? You know, did it come from the 1950s? Did they have some cool things? I think everything has a story to it, and that's what I absolutely love about not just material things, but people. I love learning about things and people and seeing that there's a story there. So I always think about what were Christmases past like in our home. And I always wonder, how did it look? Did it look like it was from like the 60s or the 70s? Oh, I'm sure it looks so different, because I know this house had some renovations done when we bought it, and then we actually renovated it a bunch more after purchasing it. So I'm just so curious what those time periods were like and what memories were made here. So I have to ask you, do you guys live in a newer home or an older home? You know, some people live in a home that's 100 to 150 years old. I always wonder, like, what were memories like there during that time? I just think it's fascinating. So I did take some dried up orange garland that I made a couple years ago. If you put this in a Ziploc bag and you store it lightly somewhere where it can't get damaged, I think it'll last you quite a long time. It's actually still very fragrant. And I just put like a greenery Christmas tree that I had for a couple of years. I put it in a soup tureen, took off the lid, and then I just lined it with some plastic bags from the stores, just to kind of give it shape so it wouldn't flop around and wobble everywhere. And then I just topped it off with wrapping it with the beautiful citrus, and I was adding some fairy lights. And I feel like this is probably what an old world, more of a traditional old-fashioned Christmas must have been like. Just natural elements, lights, pine, and dried fruit. And since we are coming upon the evening here, I thought let's warm up and cozy up the space even more. So on my built-in bookcase in the kitchen, Danny built that out for me, which I just love it. That's one of the best things he did in the kitchen for me. I just absolutely love it. I wanted to warm up the space and cozy it up. So I thought about adding some fairy LED lights. I think that these are so great. You can add these anywhere and they just add such a cozy ambiance. So I'm going to add these on the shelves and kind of just illuminate everything for the evening. And what I love about these is that they're on a timer. So I start them around 5 p.m. and they go out about 10 or 11 p.m. and they just run on batteries. I do change them once out each Christmas season, which isn't a big deal, but it is so worth it how it just cozies up the space even more. And I want to just give you a brief little tour of everything, how it's finished now that it's evening. Everything is illuminated, everything is cozy, and I just love everything. All the coppers, how they shine, all the lights, how they twinkle. I did add some lights above the kitchen sink. I'm sorry, I don't have footage for that. I thought I was recording that part, but I just didn't end up recording it, even though I thought it was. But I just love the coziness, all the warmth that the coppers give in the kitchen, the metallics. And then I did ask Danny to put this beautiful sign up in the kitchen. I put this up every year in the kitchen, and it says "Hark the Herald Angels Sing," and it's got red plaid around it. I love this sign, and I keep it in my kitchen every year. I don't know if I'll ever move it around the house, but I feel like it should just be on top of the shelf. And I just kind of left everything else simple up there, and I just added a little bit of greenery. Well, friends, if you guys made it all the way to the very end, I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me here today at the Bumblebee Farmhouse. It means so much that you could join me here today for this warm and cozy kitchen decorating video. I hope that you guys got some inspiration to make your house a home sweet home, and I pray that you guys are all doing very well. And remember, friends, as Dorothy Gale once said, there's no place like home. That's right, friends. Home, sweet home. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.